Hey sports fans, don't miss our great NBA conversation on Twitter 24/7, plus even more great features on our Google Plus page. Are you into the NFL? Try this 1 week at a time fantasy league. It's free and you can win some serious cash. I know I'm in. By now, we're all familiar with Kyrie Irving and his wizardry on the court. From Uncle Drew getting buckets to his first All-Star Game appearance, Kyrie Irving has been anointed our next great point guard in the NBA. Most of the hype is well-deserved. On the surface, his stats are in line with many budding superstar point guards in their second years. But drill down further into the advanced stats, and a slightly different picture emerges. According to Synergy, his ranking leans towards the average side of good, while his PER, which rewards mega usage players like Kyrie, is 18th in the league, 4th among all point guards. By looking at his most popular categories, you can see he heavily relied on only two. As a testament to his supreme skill, he is ranked very high in isolation, where he can use his incredible ball handling ability to break down defenders and finish with an assortment of crowd-pleasing floaters, teardrops, and stepbacks. Kyrie's most common play was running the pick and roll, where he proved to be a little above average when finishing shots himself. Having to fight into the teeth of the defense is hard on any player, and Kyrie hasn't completely mastered this skill. Kyrie's passing out of the pick and roll didn't help the team as much as his scoring, as the team's efficiency was very average when factoring in assists. When you combine points and assists, a good barometer for point guards, you see that Kyrie Irving was good in this category, ranking 45th out of 107 players with at least 1,000 possessions. One thing to notice is the high volume of turnovers he committed. Some point guards ahead of him were Luke Ridnour, Drew Holiday, and Brandon Jennings. Kyrie has already established himself as a serious three-point threat, both in volume and accuracy, which further serves to help him get to the basket when teams respect his shot. Within his role in the offense, Kyrie took a big portion of his jump shots off the dribble and was pretty effective in knocking down those shots. Being able to convert as the shot clock winds down is a very important skill for a point guard, and last year, Kyrie was hovering barely above average in this category. Now, let's turn to another young point guard who barely gets any mention outside of where he plays, in what Phil Jackson calls a cow town. While many might remember this Isaiah Thomas, one of the all-time great point guards who played for the Bad Boys Pistons, there's another Isaiah Thomas with an extra A, who's been quietly and efficiently killing his defenders. One thing holding him back in this discussion is his minutes played per game. So we went to his per 36 minutes numbers and compared them to Kyrie's with interesting results. Suddenly, his numbers start to get into the discussion for who was more effective for their team. Of particular note is the amount of turnovers. Isaiah protected the ball remarkably well, especially in comparison to Kyrie's rather high turnover rate. Let's go back to the points plus assists category because this difference is a bit startling. Isaiah Thomas was much more effective in getting his team points, with a combination of accurate passing that set up his teammates for many more three-point shots and committing significantly less turnovers than Kyrie. Isaiah Thomas was also much more balanced in his offensive attack, making him a very difficult player to guard. As a pick-and-roll ball handler, Isaiah has an assortment of runners and floaters and doesn't try to do too much with his passes. No matter how you look at it, Isaiah was better in this category by a wide margin. Both players struggle somewhat in transition. Isaiah was able to push the ball more often with the Kings and had almost the same effectiveness as Kyrie while on the break. Isaiah was able to spot up more often with a player like Tyreke Evans running the show, and was one of the most efficient players in the league. Of players who spotted up at least 200 times last season, Isaiah ranked 17th overall. isolation was the only high usage category where Kyrie ranked higher than Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah is great at the change of pace dribble and can get his shot off in the lane. Kyrie is one of the elite isolators in the game who can explode, absorb contact, and still finish the shot. Interestingly, in a lot less minutes, Isaiah Thomas used almost as many possessions with the shot clock under 4 seconds. This indicates the Kings were very willing to look to Isaiah to create a shot when they absolutely needed it. While there's no denying Kyrie's unbelievable talent and flair for the game, a player like Isaiah Thomas deserves much more attention than he got for the season he had. Some things to consider. Kyrie had 11 games with 5 or more turnovers. For context, here are Chris Paul and Mike Conley's numbers. Isaiah only had 3 such games. Even factoring for less minutes, here are the number of games with 4 more turnovers. This is a sore spot for Kyrie and something he needs to cut down on to make the jump to elite level point guard, an area Isaiah Thomas is already fulfilling. While defensive stats still struggle to accurately portray a player's ability on that end, it's clear both these players have some work to do to improve. Kyrie's effort while defending the pick and roll needs to improve as he gets caught out of position and doesn't pursue well once he gets screened off. Isaiah Thomas's effort is better, and he looks to be one of those bulldogs you can unleash to press the other team's point guard 94 feet. It is no secret that the Kings have placed the future of their franchise in the large hands of the mercurial DeMarcus Cousins. Isaiah has forged a strong bond with him on the court, so much so that he assisted on 79 of Cousins' shots, 33 more than the next highest Kings player. This on-court connection will no doubt lead to more playing time for Isaiah, which is vital to his development. So while Kyrie Irving continues to get magazine covers and shoe deals, take a minute to reflect on who had the better year last year. Was it the heir apparent to King James' kingdom in Cleveland, or the guy with the Hall of Fame name sporting some serious game?